This week is class is going to be short because we don't have anything new to cover. That's all right. We don't have to have something new to cover every week, do we? Well, you don't know. Let's look at what's due this week. So we're done in Module 4. We go to the grade screen. Oh, I've not turned in my list assignment from yesterday. I'll get mine turned in right away. But what's due this week is the Module 4 project, which means that's kind of like the unit test, more or less. It's just no new information. It's just work on what needs to be done there. So the Module 4 project. So with that, you'll see in Buzz, we go to that activity. There's instructions right before that, I think. Yeah, Module 4 project. So when you go to the Module 4 project, it says follow the project template. Well, in Google Classroom, you go to this week 25. Oh, that dates are wrong on that. It should be to the 17th. Yeah, we can fix that real quick. Rename. All right, so that's rename. Do this weekend Buzz, the Module 4 project, and we have a template right here in Google Classroom. So when you click on that, it will create your copy of this template. So it says if you're up for a programming challenge, read on. If not, take a deep breath and then read on. So either way. You're going to create a working program of your choice that will test Boolean conditions based on user input. So you use all the Python skills and functions you've learned. This assignment has 5 steps. So here's step 1, planning and analysis. You always got to figure out what you want. So choose one, and you have 3 options here. Option 1 is a members only. If you're going to create a club, what would it be and how could people join? Think about the membership requirements. Would members have to be between certain ages? Would they have to like certain things? Is it like a fan club or something? Would they need certain skills to be in the club? Because you're the president of the club, you get to decide that. Just make sure the conditions are school appropriate. Follow these steps to begin your planning. Create a club name and explain the purpose of your club. List the conditions, and you must have at least 3 conditions to be a member of your club. And remember, you've learned about if statements, if else statements, else if statements, elif, and logical operators and or not. So you can test for just about anything, any of those 3 conditions that you would ask a user to give input on. Okay, so that's the first option, where you create a club and you're asking questions that your user has to input to see if they qualify to be in your club. All right, option number 2. Saving money makes people smile. So your job is to spread the cheer by coming up with a discount plan. For example, maybe people who are under 18 with honor roll get $5 off admission. Maybe you want to reward honor roll students, military personnel, or state residents with free parking. Since this is your discount plan, you get to decide the criteria again. So follow these steps. Choose a place like an amusement park, movie theater, sport event, online, wherever you want, and explain your discount program. So your program should explain the program. Then list the conditions. Again, at least 3 conditions to qualify for a discount. Again, you can use the Boolean and all the if, else, and everything to ask those questions and an input to find out if someone qualifies for your discount. All right, option number 3, programmer's adventure. If you want to journey the road less traveled, create your own option, go for it. If you don't like the discount or the members only, you have another idea you want to do that would still use those same things, 3 conditions based on user input, then write your own program, right? I mean, come up with your own idea of what kind of program you want to do. They give you some other possible program options. Maybe create a contest and the conditions to win. Remember, at least 3 conditions to win the contest. Order a cake based on certain conditions. Suggest a vacation destination based on certain conditions. Like, yeah, that'd be an interesting one. You can ask them, do you like it warm or do you like it cold? Do you want to, do you like being near the ocean or not being near the ocean. And then, based on all the inputs they give, at least 3 questions, you could do more. Then it could suggest a place to go on vacation based on what they had given as the answers. So that could be interesting. Okay, so that was step 1, just planning out the basis of your project. All right, pick an option. Step 2, design. All right, so now you're going to write your pseudocode. Remember, pseudocode is just writing it in plain English. You're not writing Python code. You're saying, okay, first I'm going to put my name, the date, and the purpose of my program. Number 2, I'm going to print out welcome to my discount club or vacation club or whatever it is. And then I'm going to say, here's the criteria you need to qualify, and then you're going to do that. So here's what your program must include. Remember, when you're actually writing your program, you're going to have input statements. You're going to have 3 input statements that request data from the user. So 3 answers. Use the integer or float if you need it. If they're given numbers, and if you're using numbers in your program, you might have to use integers or float. Decision statements. All right, like an if else or elif, and or not. So that's a decision statement. You have output statements like clear, well-organized output to display messages that show what they entered, show the user's input, and the results of those decision statements. You said you want to go to the beach, so I'm going to recommend this Hawaiian vacation or something, Proper use of the string function if needed. When you're printing, you might have to if you have numbers again, you're going to have to use the string function to print those numbers. And then optional, use a list to store values. If you want to use it, because lists, we just learned in 4.04, you can put things in a list. And then depending on what they enter, you just print one item from the list as the answer. That's an optional thing. It's not required to use lists, but you can do that. So you're going to put your pseudocode here, right? You're going to put your pseudocode right after the red there. All right. Step 3, here's where you're actually writing the program. Use Python idle. Use comments, type the heading as your name, date, and a short description of your program as always. Follow the Python conventions regarding indentation and white space, and use meaningful names for all your variables. Here's an example of some output similar to what you could have. Like this one, this is the Wacky Writers Club. Wanda, thank you for, so let's input what's your name, and they use the name in there. Wanda, thank you for answering the application questions. Your replies are, here's what they'd ask them. What's your age? Do you love to write? Yes or no? What's your favorite game? Say favorite genre. So your favorite genre is mystery. Have you had previous work published? Yes or no? Are you willing to share a story? Yes or no? So there was 5 questions they asked after they asked the name. So they actually asked 6 things. We love that you love to write. We do too. Unfortunately, you do not meet the willingness to share requirement. So willingness to share is a requirement to be a member. Since you don't meet that, you don't qualify to be in the club. But thank you for applying. Here's a different one someone chose. Let's pick a vacation destination. Chloe, thank you for your selections. You said your ideal vacation would be on wavy water, looking for an adventure, and traveling abroad. So the vacation destination recommended is to explore the Australian reefs in an undersea ship. Hey, that's a pretty good recommendation. Traveling abroad, looking for adventure, wavy water. So that's just some examples of what some other people have written and what their output looked like, just to give you ideas for your design up here. So then you put your Python code, the actual program that you'll copy and paste from idle. And then steps 4 and 5 are, here's testing, run your code, evaluate the output. Didn't answer these questions. What bugs did you identify and how did you fix them? And then step 5 is the maintenance question. What design and functionality improvements could you make? You're thinking, how could I improve this? How could you get feedback on ways to improve it? If you can't think of many ways to improve it, how can you get feedback? Give you more ideas. How could you expand your program into a better program in the future? And what are potential bugs that users could encounter if it's expanded? What problems could that cause? So there it is, 5 steps, but the last 2 steps are all just questions. So it's planning, writing pseudocode, writing actual code. Step 3, actual code. So, All right. Questions on that? See what you got? I will remind you that, put this back up the screen real quick. In our Google Classroom, up at the top, I do have that first semester summary that you can click on, and it goes over all the commands we learned in the first semester, how to use a print statement with a print example, how to assign a string value with examples. All these have examples with them. Talks about good practice on writing variable names, making it meaningful, reasonable length, using nouns, how to concatenate, how to slice strings. So all the stuff we learned in the first code. Pseudocode, good examples for pseudocode, how to use integer and float. So remember all this stuff, it's several pages, 21 pages of stuff that we learned. For loops, Boolean conditions. So all this stuff we learned in the first semester. So that's always there for you to refer to if you can't remember how something works. Of course, you can also, if you're trying to remember how a command works, how do I do an input in Python? Well, type that in Google. You'll find lots of websites that'll tell you also how to do an input in Python. Or you can go to the lessons, because I've left all of the first semester lessons up here so you can go back and, oh yeah, how do I do a loop? You can go back and look at the lesson on loops, turtle graphics, for loops, while loops. So I didn't delete all those lessons from the first semester, computing numerical data. So it's all still there. I just took all the assignments out. You don't need the assignments. Those grades are done, but you still have all the lessons that you can go back and refer to if you need help with something on there. And of course, if you write your program and you're still having errors and can't figure it out, get with me, email it to me. Let me look at it. I can help you debug that. And I'll fix what I see wrong and let you know, hey, this is what's causing your error. And then you can go back and continue working with it. So, all right. Like I said, pretty quick and easy today. No new material. It's just your end of module assignment for module 4. So if you have questions, I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, go tackle your Monday before it tackles you.